What's up, everybody? As always, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to contractfortune.com. And that way you can be made aware of any events. But it doesn't look like we're going to have too many outside events, but there are online events. And we had a seminar yesterday that was really good. And you'll be able to take advantage of educational opportunities that are going to be made available to you. Now, with that said, yesterday we had a seminar, an online seminar, and I think everybody that was able to attend and contribute to the conversation that we were having in reference to different ways to monetize and capitalize on and innovate to what the situation is that we are now currently facing. Today I want to continue to kind of elaborate on that. But I also want to talk a little bit more about something that needs to continuously touched on during these next couple of weeks, and that is routine. If you are used to waking up at 6 a.m., 6:30, 5 a.m., whatever time that you wake up, do not stop waking up at that time. Your alarm clock wakes you up. You look at your alarm clock. I see memes all the time of people looking at the alarm clock and hating the alarm clock, all of that. But right now, or if not right now, next week, you'll probably miss it because it is your routine. You are used to getting up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock and going out and doing what it is that you do to earn a living. Now, children-wise, if you want to let them sleep for a little bit longer so that you can get your mind right, get focused, maybe read the newspaper, watch a little television to get yourself together before you have to face the day all day with the kids, then that's cool. But when you wake them up, continue to make them have a structure as well. I'm not a teacher, I'm not a doctor or a mental health professional, any of that. But common sense tells me that if you keep the structure of what your life was prior to this COVID-19 outbreak, then it will continue to be the same once it is over. The other thing is, this first week, and I've said it in another video, it's going to feel like I don't know if it feels vacationish. It just feels vacationish to me. That's the best word I can think of to use. But it shouldn't. You should not treat it as that, because the way that the politicians are talking, they're talking as if this is going to be going on for at least a few months. Now, some school systems have closed for the rest of the year. Some businesses are not going to open. I saw a picture of the Vegas Strip and it was dark. Things aren't the same as they were. And I'll tell you this much. This is true. The way that we went into this prior to the coronavirus is not how the country is going to come out the other side at the end of the coronavirus, because nothing stays the same. Things are always changing. Innovation is inevitable. The last pandemic was the Spanish flu. I might be off a year, but like 1918. And, it was bad. Recession, all of it. But the thing that they didn't have that we have is the internet, man. And you have the ability to take that PC, that laptop, your smartphone, and you can monetize it. Right now, folks are so used to the routine. They don't know how to feel right now. And the reason I'm saying take steps now to strategize and put yourself in a position where once week 3 and 4 happen, hopefully by the time we get to 3 and 4, we're looking like it might subside. But by that point, some of the damage will have been done. But once it starts to look like everything is subsiding, and if it looks like it may go on for a few more weeks, you don't want that depression to set in. So if you're already strategizing and taking an opportunity and thinking of a way to, continue to earn a living while this is going on, then you're already ahead of the game. Because by the time, if you take the first week and you were already working on an idea or a project, by the time the second and third week come along, it's already in motion. So the depression of everything doesn't have time to set in because you continued to work. I feel like that's something that we all should see. But because, right now, everything is so new, folks may not see that. But I promise you this, there are folks right now who are capitalizing on what is going on. I've taken a few shots because I was telling folks that how do you continue to earn a living during the coronavirus, COVID-19 virus? I was using government contracting. Government contracting is going to be a very lucrative business. I'm going to plug Contract Fortune several times during this video, but we took 25% off of our webinar just so we can give folks an opportunity to take advantage of the webinar and learn how to become contractors. Back to the point though. Keeping your wheels turning, as we truck drivers say, if the wheels are turning, money is happening. If you are constantly strategizing and thinking of a way to continue to earn a living, then you're working, you're making moves. That's a part of what being an entrepreneur is. If you're not an entrepreneur, that's cool, but that's what comes with it as an entrepreneur. If you're always thinking of a way to keep the wheels turning, you're now an entrepreneur. You need, as citizens and folks of humanity, to not look at your PC or your mobile device as just a way to access Instagram, look at the ladies, get on Facebook and show what you had for dinner last night. You need to take that device that you have and think, how can this thing make me money? How can this thing make me money? I'm listening to some of my favorites, Gary Vee, Damon John, Grant Cardone, some of my favorites, the big ones, the names that people may know. They're telling people to, take advantage, look for where the money's going. I got a leg up on them on this one because this is my wheel well. Disaster relief, government contracting, watching what's going on in this situation. I've never been through a pandemic, but this type of behavior in terms of how the government is acting are things that I've seen before. They are things that I've participated in. I'll use the Puerto Rico situation over and over and over again because the same things that I'm seeing here right now are the things that I saw in Puerto Rico. Now, attention deficit disorder, I have it, and I'm going to digress real quick. Do not listen to your conspiracy theory friends. I've got conspiracy theory friends. A bunch of dudes telling me, this is where the government takes over. This is not life as we know it. All of these things. Biggest one is martial law. Everybody's like, oh, martial law is about to happen. Listen. FEMA is about to take over all of it. This is true. Federal Emergency Management Agency. Because people are not heeding the advice of what their local officials are saying, then they're going to have to take stronger measures. Now, a thinking person is going to say, well, folks weren't listening to what was being told to us, so it's going to continue to escalate so that people will chill out so that this thing can subside. The longer, and keep this in mind too, the longer that we don't listen to what the folks are telling us, the professionals, the real professionals, the doctors, and the agencies that really have knowledge of this, if we're not listening to those folks, the longer it's going to metastasize and grow, and what as normal life may never return. So what they're saying is martial law is, I guess technically would be considered that, but if you're not going to listen, how am I going to make it go away? So if the government has to keep ratcheting up the situation, because from what I see, again, I don't follow blindly behind the government. At the same time, I'm not going to subscribe to the conspiracy theories either. I'm neutral. I'm going to get accurate information, cross-check that information, verify what it is that has been told to me, and then I'm going to make an assessment after that. Now, the conspiracy theory people, 2% of what they say might have some truth to it. The government folks, 2% of what they say might have some truth to it. I think that the situation may have been handled poorly. It could have been, rolled out a little bit differently. But now that it's here, instead of being in this camp or this camp, we need to be in this camp, giving accurate information to our fellow citizens so that they know how to move with their families. Period. Back to routine. If you are an entrepreneur, keeping a routine is discipline. I tell people all the time, discipline, consistency, routine, focus. Those are the things that I have to do in order to make sure that my business is always moving forward. Those are the things that I highly recommend, whether you choose to be an entrepreneur or you want to continue to just work for, another, that you have to adapt these principles within yourself. Because if you're at home working, the same way that you were used to getting your cup of coffee in the morning and talking to Rhonda at the water cooler is not going to be that way for a while. And that's the reality of this. And change is good. Innovation is good. Instead of looking at this situation as gloom and doom, the zombie apocalypse, look at it as a way to take advantage of an opportunity, capitalize on the situation, help out those that may be in a situation where they're lesser than, they may not be as strong and they need help. This is your chance. And I'm telling you right now, folks that go into this, some folks, not all, some folks that go into this in a lesser situation, like a lesser financial situation, if you take the time, strategize, figure out a plan, see there's a hole right here that needs to be filled with the service that you have, you're going to come out of this situation in a way better financial position, possibly in the next tax bracket. So now is the time. And I'll tell you, I give everybody a day. When my mom passed away, the doctor, I had to go to the doctor, probably several weeks after she passed. My body was going through health changes. I told you before, I deal with blood pressure. I deal with migraines sometimes as well. The doctor told me that I had suffered an emotional shock, similar to a car accident victim who may have had trauma, suffering an internal shock and their body goes into shock. I have suffered an emotional shock, losing my mom. I lost half of myself. So, that mentally threw my body off. You can't compare the loss of my mom to what it is that the country is suffering. But there is things that you can equate it to. There are certain aspects of it you can equate it to. It's a shock. You're in shock because what you have been used to for the last however many years of your life, if you're in my generation, we've been working for over 20 years, so you're in shock. If you are, one of there was a Generation X and the millennials, or those the ones after me, I'm not sure, but I think that's right. You've been used to, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to go to school, go to college, get my degree. All of these things are changing. You need to embrace those changes. Again, this isn't anything to fear. It's something to embrace. Now, the initial fear of how will I feed my family? How will the bills get paid? I can relate. I can relate to that. But again, the faster you begin the process and strategy of monetizing your mobile device, your desktop, whatever, the faster you will already start the process of working. Always remember this. For all the work you put in, right? If you work nonstop, if you work every day, eventually the reward catches up to the work. So if you're always working, this goes for your personal life and your business life. The work you put into your children manifests when they get older, and you see every lesson that you taught them, hard work, family morals and values come to fruition. It's the same thing with business. What you put in, eventually the reward is going to catch up. But if you just sit there and don't do anything, the result is going to be nothing. I'm getting ready to wrap this up, but there's another thing I wanted to touch on. I used to take boxing lessons, and my coach taught me there's fear and there's fright. And fear will help you. Fright is when you can't move. Fright is bad. Fear is used to make great things happen. We got this. Everybody that's watching this, that can hear my voice, we got this. Don't fear it. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be shocking. I will not take that part of it away. There's going to be things that you see that are going to be like, wow, never in my lifetime have I seen this. But don't fear it. Figure out what you need to do to protect your family. And then after you have them stashed away and they're okay, go out here and earn. Earn a living. Earn more money than you probably ever would have made prior to this thing happening. So, again, contractfortune.com, we're teaching folks the webinar. We took 25% off of it so that, it's accessible for folks so that you can take the class and learn how to government contract. Listen, government contracting is going to boom. I'm sidebarring again. What normally takes about 2-3 months to get a contract, you will probably start scoring contracts in a matter of weeks because, and I'm not talking about like the big ones. You ain't gonna get it. May not happen. It may, I don't know. Lottery tickets happen, but like the $1 million joints, don't shoot for them. Shoot for the little ones. Couple $1,000s here, couple $1,000s there. It's going to be so much work for government contractors. If you are into computers, there's going to be a lot of IT things available in terms of cybersecurity. All of those things, because if you didn't notice, HHS they got broken into, so I'm quite sure that's the two aren't exclusively together. But think about it, they're going to need one for the other. But anyway, there's so many solicitations that are going to come available, and the opportunity is there. So I wish you well. I'm cheering for everybody. Now is the time to strategize. Take this first couple of days and strategize. Get the mission ready so that when we get into 2-3 weeks of this thing, I'm seeing businesses pop up everywhere online. I wish everybody the best, and I'm cheering for you.